In this podcast episode, Ben Shapiro delves into the current state of American politics, highlighting the perceived decline in the quality of elected representatives and the broader implications for governance and public discourse. Shapiro references two quotes by early 20th century columnist H.L. Mencken to frame his argument: democracy as the theory that the common people know what they want and deserve to get it, good and hard, and the notion that no one has ever lost money or public office by underestimating the intelligence of the masses. Shapiro uses these quotes to critique the intelligence and competence of current American political leaders, particularly focusing on a recent spectacle in a House of Representatives committee involving Marjorie Taylor Greene, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Jasmine Crockett. Shapiro criticizes the representatives for engaging in personal attacks and insults rather than meaningful discussions on important issues. He argues that the quality of public leadership is a reflection of the quality of public conversations, noting that politics has become more of a popularity contest than a platform for serious policy discussions. This shift has led to a decline in the intellectual achievement of Congress and other government agencies. The podcast then shifts to discussing President Joe Biden's mental acuity and the controversy surrounding a tape of his interview with prosecutor Robert H. The Biden administration is asserting executive privilege to prevent the release of the tape, citing concerns about potential manipulation for political gain. Shapiro questions the validity of this claim and speculates about the contents of the tape, suggesting that it may reveal Biden's deteriorating mental state. He highlights Biden's public appearances where he has made several gaffes and mixed up important details, raising concerns about his ability to fulfill his duties as president. Shapiro highlights the lack of enthusiasm for Biden among various demographics, including Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. He cites examples of Democratic representatives expressing concerns about Biden's declining support and the potential for a contentious Democratic convention. The focus then shifts to the upcoming vice presidential debate between Kamala Harris and the yet-to-be-announced Republican candidate, with Shapiro emphasizing the importance of this event in light of Biden's uncertain future in office. Shapiro criticizes Harris's campaign strategy of offering financial incentives to voters, such as student loan relief and grants for first-time homebuyers, as a means of garnering support. He argues that these tactics are short-sighted and could lead to negative consequences, citing the subprime mortgage crisis as an example of the dangers of incentivizing certain behaviors. The podcast touches on Biden's attempts to appeal to younger voters by promising to reclassify marijuana as a Schedule III drug and address issues related to cannabis use. Shapiro raises concerns about the negative effects of marijuana on mental health and cognitive function, as well as the increasing potency of the drug in recent years. He warns against the potential consequences of widespread marijuana legalization and calls out Biden's administration for prioritizing political gain over public health and safety. Shapiro also addresses the backlash faced by Kansas City Chiefs kicker Harrison Butker for expressing traditional Catholic beliefs at a speaking engagement. He contrasts the outrage over Butker's comments with the lack of criticism towards individuals who engage in criminal behavior. The podcast further discusses the response to Butker's comments on traditional gender roles by individuals on The View. Shapiro critiques the dismissal of Butker's beliefs as extreme and highlights the double standard in how certain religions are portrayed in the media. The podcast shifts focus to EcoHealth Alliance, a research organization linked to investigations into the origins of the novel coronavirus. Shapiro discusses the suspension of federal funding to the organization due to its failure to monitor virus experiments at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. He highlights the organization's role in shaping the narrative around the virus's origins and its connection to Dr. Anthony Fauci. Shapiro also addresses the firing of service members who refused to get the COVID-19 vaccine, criticizing the lack of regret from officials and the impact on military readiness. He questions the decision to dismiss qualified individuals for not complying with vaccine mandates. On a positive note, Shapiro mentions the formation of a right-wing government in the Netherlands, led by nationalist Geert Wilders. The new government plans to implement stricter immigration policies and relocate the embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.